So the phone starts with Michael. He and his dad are both morticians who wash the bodies of deceased people. At the start of the film, they were preparing a lady's body for a funeral who had committed suicide. Michael asks his dad how she committed suicide, so his dad explains to him, "Look, son, our job is only to prepare people's bodies for the funeral. It's not better for us to know about their death." The woman had a bracelet on her body when she died, and there was also a strange double spread tattoo. And tonight, Michael meets his friend and tells him that he has decided to join the seminary college. A seminary college is actually a Christian college where one studies to become a priest. His friend asked, "Why do you want to become a priest? Your grades are so good." So he said, "In our family, there are only two options. Either I can become a mortician or a priest, and I don't want to become a mortician. That's why I am going to study to become a priest. After 6 years, I won't become a priest by making Ayman any excuse, and at least I'll be born free from this mortician of work." In the film, 6 years pass by, and it shows that all of you have completed your course. Everyone is awarded their degree, and as night falls, Michael submits his resignation to his father, stating that he can no longer fulfill his responsibilities as a priest. As soon as he sent the email, Michael packed his bag and left from there. But in the process of stopping him, he collided with a lady riding a bicycle. The girl fell far away and a van ran over her. The girl was severely injured. Seeing this accident, Michael also returned to them. Michael saw that the girl's condition was very critical. At this time, the girl, seeing Michael, asked him to please give her a blessing so she could go peacefully. Although Michael did not want to do all this, he also did not want to refuse a dying girl. So he gave her a blessing as a priest. The next day, they meet Father Michael again and tell him that they are not sending his letter forward, as they believe he can become a very good priest and also an exorcist. The position of an exorcist is also quite good, and anyway, demonic activities are increasing every year in this world. Your becoming an exorcist could also be beneficial for this world. But Michael said, "Father, I have no interest in becoming a priest." The father explained that if you don't become a police officer, the church will convert all your scholarships into loans and you will have to repay them. Poor Michael, what could he say? Nay, he had to agree with the father, and he got ready to become an exorcist, although he didn't believe in exams or demonic activities at all. Since he was getting paid for the strip, he thought of just passing his time. The first class begins. The father tells all the children that before performing an exorcism, we need to assess the person's mental and physical health. In this, the signs of mental illness and demonic possession are almost the same, but in a manic state, a person isolates themselves from others, remains in constant pain, and does not like to talk to anyone. In this class, Michael meets a woman named Joan, who was taking the course to write her journal. During this class, the father noticed that Michael did not believe in exorcism. Therefore, they tell Michael to meet Father Loader, who was very much an expert. Following their advice, Michael goes to his house, which looked like a complete ruin. Father takes him inside the house where a client was laid out. Seeing this girl, Michael did not feel that the process would work. She looked completely normal, so he asked Father, "How do you know this girl is in the process?" Father told him to give something of his in a bag. Michael didn't understand what he meant in name, but he put an American dollar in the bag, and then they went in front of the girl. Father asked the girl, "Tell us what's in Michael's bag." The girl said, "How could I possibly know?" Father asked her to guess. The girl refused to guess. When Father started to press her, the demon inside her awoke, and finally, the girl revealed that there was an American dollar in Michael's bag, which Michael later took out and showed. Here, Father explained that it was given to the possessed people. Because of Monique's power, she has knowledge of such hidden things, and this is the biggest sign valibud of the procession. Now the father begins a source for him, placing his hand on his head. Itikuya means he recites many mantras in a line, which caused a lot of pain to the mind, and he was also cursing the father in strange ways. But the father continued his work, and finally the demon, Ue, came under control. Both of them left from here, and then Michael asked the father if the demon had gone away. The father said, "No, it has only come under control for now. It takes a lot of time and patience to expel the demon, especially in special cases." Michael now goes back to his hostel, and as soon as he puts his hand in his pocket, he takes something out. It belonged to the lady whom he had prepared for the ritual at the start of the movie. How did it end up in his pocket? To find out, he goes back to Father Lucas the next day and asks him to call the girl again and ask her if she put this bracelet in his pocket. When the girl is called and asked about the bracelet, she says that the devil put it there. Father begins to provoke the devil inside her, and Michael ties the bracelet back onto the girl's hand. As soon as the devil emerges, the girl starts acting crazy and tells Michael, "Do you remember the one you shook that day? That girl is saying hello to you." Seeing her condition, Father starts to control her, while the devil, overpowering the girl, begins to choke Michael as well. Then Father grabs the girl's ear and starts reciting something twice, which causes the devil a lot of pain, and the girl begins to vomit. In her vomit, there were some pieces of wood and blood. And finally, she also relaxed. For a moment, we thought that the devil inside her had left, but that wasn't the case. It just wasn't under control yet. After today's incident, Michael started to somewhat believe in exorcism. The next day, Father Lucas calls her to his house again because he had to go to someone's house for another session. The weather was quite fine today, but still, Father gave her an umbrella and said it would rain on the way. Michael found his words strange, but they set off, and it actually started raining on the way. They then went to the house of a child who claimed to be haunted by a demonic horse. There were also marks on his back from being hit by a horse, and he was very distressed by these things. Anyway, Father now begins his exorcism, and after a session, the child looks at Michael and whispers something strange into his mother's ear, which makes her scold him and tell him not to say such things. After a session, both Father and Michael return to their homes, where Father receives a call and learns that their first patient, named Rosaria, has attempted suicide, and they are urgently summoned to the hospital. At this time, Rosaria's condition was very severe. No one was able to handle her, and her voice had also become demonic. When Father attempts to perform an exorcism on her, she pushes Father away and tells everyone to fear her. Michael responds by saying that she doesn't even exist, which angers the demon as well. Father then performs another exorcism to calm it down, and they all come outside. Once outside, Father looks very angry because Michael shouldn't have said such a thing in front of the team. This could have made things worse, but Michael still denies these things and leaves. The next morning, we see Saria again, whose condition is worsening significantly. At this time, the devil was also overpowering her, although she had no one with her, and her hands were tied. With great difficulty, she drags herself to the alarm button, and by the time these people reach her room, they see that Rosaria and her newborn baby had both passed away. As soon as Father Lucas found out about this, he was devastated. Now even Father Lucas was losing his faith in himself and in God. He leaves from there, and now we see that Michael has come to meet the journalist. He tells the journalist the whole story, how a beam had possessed Barista Rosaria. They performed an exorcism, yet Rosaria still died. He still couldn't get out of the dilemma of whether all these things ever get resolved or not. Anyway, after this meeting, he goes back to his hostel room and falls asleep, and when he wakes up, he finds himself in his motivational speaker persona in his old house. At this time, he wasn't bringing a corpse when suddenly something strange and old was put on him. Its creepy hands gesture towards Michael as if to kiss him, but Michael stops just before kissing it. Then the hand affectionately touches Michael's face and suddenly grabs his throat. It was trying to strangle Michael to death, but suddenly Michael's eyes opened, and it was revealed that this was all part of Michael's nightmare. At this time, someone was knocking on Michael's door. Michael went to see and found that Father was there, who immediately told him to go home because his diet was in very bad condition. Father had also arranged his flight. Michael even reached the airport, but he found out that all flights had been cancelled due to an accident. Michael, broken, returns to his hostel room and sees that now his entire room was filled with frogs. After that, we are shown Father Locke again, who was now standing in front of a mirror, staring, and suddenly he cut his cheek. The reason behind his strange actions was that Father Lucas had actually been possessed. It is believed that if someone fails in performing an exorcism, the demonic power possesses them instead, and something similar happened with Father Lucas. In reality, he was not able to perform the exorcism properly. When he couldn't control the mind, his own faith began to diminish. As his faith weakened, the mind started to possess him, and a sign of his possession was that he could predict the rain beforehand. It happened due to the demonic power, and when they went to perform a ritual on the child, they started laughing loudly upon seeing the horse's hoof marks on the child's back. In reality, for some time, there was a demon inside him, and now, after Rosia's death, his own faith had completely ended. His connection with his religion had significantly diminished, which is why Dean had completely processed him. In such a situation, when a child wants to receive a blessing from the father slaps her hard and pushes her away. The scene shifts, and it is shown that Michael had booked a motel room for his stay. Because he could no longer stay in the hostel room, he called the hospital to inquire about his dad's health. His dad himself answered the phone and told him that he is now completely fine. Hearing this, Michael was happy, but suddenly his dad's voice cut off, and the doctor started speaking. The doctor informed him, "Sorry, Mr. Michael, but your dad has passed away." Michael is shocked to hear this, and asks the doctor how this could be possible, as he was just talking to him a few seconds ago. The doctor said that it was impossible because his death occurred today at 2 in the afternoon. Now Michael was very upset. He also hung up the phone, and just then, there was a sudden knock on his door. As soon as Michael stepped out of the room to see, he heard the sound of someone running, but there was no one there. And now on his room's door lock was the same thing we had seen repeatedly in the movie. He could now hear the voices of his dad calling him for help. Michael, driven mad, kept running after them, and even came out of the hotel. Outside, there were footprints on the ground, and suddenly he heard a sound. The tension and pain were now gone, and we saw him fall to the other side. And right outside the motor, he also saw a horse whose eyes were terribly red, which meant it had demonic powers. Seeing this, he becomes worried and calls his fellow journalist. Together, they go to the child's house, where the demonic horse used to trouble them. As soon as Michael arrives, he first asks the child's mother what her son told her that day. So, she tells everything. She said that your dad will die soon, and hearing this, Michael is shocked because his dad had indeed passed away. Michael now asks the child, "Who told you this?" The child replied, "It was told to me by the one you saw at night." Michael was troubled. He had completely started believing in these things, and now he needed help. He goes to Father Lucas for help. We see that Father Lucas was sitting under the rain, unaware of himself. He seemed to be not in his senses. The journalist and Michael pick him up and take him inside his house. After eating, Father came to his senses a bit and told Michael to immediately call the father who is his teacher, because this demon is very strong, and before doing anything, he should definitely tie him up. Michael realized that Father Lucas was also in that team's position, so he quickly called the church and found out that Father was out of town and would return in 2 days. To control the situation, Michael decided to handle it himself, but he didn't have $100 bill, and his condition wasn't very good. The demon was trying to weaken him and was also troubling Father Lucas a lot, causing him pain. So, Michael and the journalist tied Father to a chair, but the demon was very powerful. While sitting on the chair, it made the girl unconscious and broke the ropes, suddenly attacking Michael. It grabbed Michael's throat and started controlling his mind. The demon processed Michael and asked him, "Tell me, who do you believe in? Tell me who I am, how powerful I am." Michael began to process his words and started saying, "Yes, you are the demon. You are the most powerful, and I believe in the demon." However, while saying this, memories of God kept coming to his mind. Memories of when he used to go to church with his mom, when his mom used to tell him about God. He was holding a cross tightly in his hand at that time, but when he told the demon, "Yes, I believe in you," his eyes changed, turning completely white, meaning the demon had processed him well. Before the demon could cause any more harm, he remembered the moment when his mom gave him a picture of God. And at that moment, Michael said, "No, I don't believe in you. I believe in God. I accept God, right now." As soon as he said this, Michael's eyes returned to normal. When he accepted his faith, his powers returned. And with these powers, he began to control the demon and asked for its name. Now the demon was weakened, and as soon as the demon revealed its name, it left Father Lucas's body. The scene cut here. The next day, a new morning was shown, indicating that the shadow of the demon had left this world. Here, Father Lucas thanked Michael, and the movie ended.